Okay, Rabotai, we are in Parashat
Shelach Lecha.
Shelach Lecha. Of course, the famous parasha of the meraglim. But guess what I'm not going to do today? I'm not talk about anything else besides the meraglim. So I'm going to ask you a question. Really, let me just think about it. What's so bad about being in a desert? I mean, you've been to the desert, right? How's the desert?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. How about you? You've been to the desert? Yeah, you've been to the desert. You've been to the desert? I don't know about you. It's majestic. I remember before the Israelis gave Sinai to the Egyptians, I used to go to Sinai, and I knew I was going to give them back. So I used to take special vacations from the Air Force, since we were stationed in Sinai. I used to go down to the area of, along the coast where Neviot or Dizahav were. And originally, before the peace treaty, I had a plan. I said, I want to go to a moshav in the desert. I wanted to go to Dizahav. I was in love with that. The desert is amazing. It's just amazing. So really, what's so bad about it? What's so bad about going to the desert? A little different from other sins that Bnei Israel did in the desert. This chet of the meraglim is a little different. I mean, most of the time, and today also we spoke about the riffraffs, the asafsuf. Usually it doesn't start from, it's just, the sin starts as a small ripple from those people on the edge of society. This was different. This was completely different. Here we're talking about the spiritual elite of Am Yisrael. Talking about the best of the best. The Nesiim, those who were appointed to be the ones to lead the people, every tribe. There were the top political figures of the time of Am Yisrael. But this is just not riffraffs. Talking about. So the Torah tells us that and emphasizes that the spies that were sent, and it says kulam anashim, they were all men. When it says ish, means a reference to somebody who is important. Kulam anashim. First of all, they were all important people. Not only they were important people, Rashei Bnei Israel. They were the leaders of our nation. And by doing so, it actually makes the questions even more intense and stronger. And maybe the most difficult question to be asked regarding this particular event that happened there: how is it possible that people of that stature, that magnitude, the leaders, call them righteous people, important people, whatever you want, these are the ones who make the sin in regards to the land of Israel, that kind of said, made that ma'us, it's like, kind of repulsed by it. And I'm just going to tell you something. I do believe that poison that happened then, to a certain extent, still exists with us today. If you would leave, for example, the whole concept of the political state of Israel, leave that entity to the side, but to go to our land, it still exists today. How many people who spend a whole lifetime outside of Israel, they never set a foot there? I knew a guy who was 68 years old, who was Niftar, who was 68 years old, never set a foot in Israel. And I'm going to tell you, there are great leaders, supposedly, who didn't set a foot in Israel. You ask me why? They might give you 100 different million excuses. And I'm going to tell you, it's that poison that came from the time of the meraglim. How is it possible? How is this possible? And if not only that, but the actual chet itself, that sin itself, that fear to enter the land of Israel, is really not clear, and it's not really understood. I'm telling you, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I mean, because we're talking about the generation of people who came out of Mitzrayim. Now, they were used to miracles as much as we are used to new regulations from the government. Okay? I mean, there were miracles left and right every single day. I mean, not just miracles that somebody... These are, I mean, everybody saw this. How is it possible? A generation that saw these miracles and all, tremendous, it's very difficult, at least for me, to believe that there was some kind of a doubt in regards to God's ability, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's ability to keep them, to guard them, and to maintain them after they enter the land. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. It's like a person that will have, I don't know what, $1 billion accessible to him in his bank account, and he's collecting interest by the truckload, and he's concerned he's going to be staying penniless, even though he doesn't spend a penny. What is this guy? You're going to say, a person like this is a retard. Yes, I'm not politically correct. I'll give up whatever. And so those questions, and of course other questions as well, might come to make you realize that this is not something, a regular chet, a regular sin, in which they talk about and they teach you about in kindergarten. All these little midrashim that you guys read and so on and so forth. There's something different here. There is a certain fundamental worldview or perspective that they all shared, and that what really made them want to stay in the desert. Because they said, we better off die here. Then, they weren't so old than to go there. So they were willing to stay in the desert. There's something in their perception that I do believe that we're missing. And of course the question is, what was it? So is that okay? Or you want to continue or you want to stop? Okay. So what was it? The meraglim wanted... Okay, before we go to the meraglim, let me ask you guys who went to the desert. When you go to the desert, or when you are in the desert, and there's no reception, thank God, where you at, and the sun is about to go below the horizon, what happens there? What do you feel there? Zalman, what do you feel?
It's bliss.
Bliss. It's a good answer. What do you feel there?
Tremendous calm.
Tremendous calm. You ever been to the desert? Oh, you've been for Florida, so. I've ever been to the desert, darling?
Go faster.
Hey. Listen, Josh, you been to the desert ever?
No. Sadly, no. Unless you consider.
How about you, Idan? You been to the desert?
Arizona to the desert?
Yes, yes.
So yeah, it feels like worry-free.
Worry-free. You been to the desert, Junior? No? Fram, you been to the desert?
Yes.
What do you feel there?
Peace.
Peace. How about you?
Yeah, safe.
So let me ask you a question.
If everything is arranged, what is there to worry about?
Oh!
The
Oh!
tent is there, the wife, kids,
Exactly.
fire is on.
There's quiet, there's shalva. Peace. Peace and quiet. There's peace and quiet. They wanted to continue that. The meraglim wanted to continue. They wanted to continue this really great conditions that they had in the desert. Hey, you don't have to worry about food is coming for you from the sky, right? You don't have to worry about new clothes. Amazon will go bankrupt in the desert, if Am Yisrael was there. The clothes didn't wear, the shoes still stay the same. Everything is a miracle. Quiet, right? So, and I'm going to make the question, or this paradox even worse. These are the best conditions to do what? To learn Torah, to give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to deal the mitzvot and avodat Elokim. So let me ask you a question. If that's the case, which you all agree with that, so what's so bad about it? Why do they have to be punished like that? What's wrong with having tranquility? I'm not saying having a little margarita or mojito just like this. No, they wanted to elevate themselves. And the Gemara tells us, if you see the situation is really getting bad in where you are, go to the desert. Go to the desert. Some say the desert, el tikra midbariyot, ela bate midrashiyot. So you see the association of Bet Medrash Torah and the desert. It's a place that is protected. It's quiet. I mean, if you have to remember, right? It's like the pace of the desert. All people live in the desert. It's very different. That was the mistake of the Europeans when they came to America. They saw the Indians here, and they thought they were a bunch of lazy people. Because every time they came, they saw them, the men are laying down, like, tranquilo, like, there's a bunch of lazy people. They didn't realize. They got up much earlier than them. They did the hunting in the, early in the morning, before dawn. Because that's when the animals go. And then the rest of the time, they kind of slow the pace to conserve energy. When you go to the desert, you see the Bedouins. The Bedouin, what does the Bedouin say? It's like Avraham Avinu lehavdil. Yoshev bepetach haoel, sits at the tent, taking time. He doesn't want to sweat because if he's going to start hustling and bustling, he's going to sweat. He's going to need some more water, so he takes it easy. What do? They drink a little bit of tea to pass the time. They move at night. They do things, at early dawn or late in the day. So it's a totally different life. It's a very slow pace. It's very slow. It's very tranquil, right, and so on and so forth. It's completely different than our lifestyle and the way people live in urban cities, right, where it's you're running around from one place to another, running, hustling and bustling. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen, maybe not COVID, this whole entire thing. But I remember when I used to work in the city, try to get on the Long Island Railroad during rush hour. I mean, people will trample your life. I used to stand like this and people used to push me into the train. It's crazy. I mean, we're running, people at lunchtime running, boom, banging into you. It's crazy. Do you blame them for not wanting to come to the land? So, and especially since they have the months of, giving them and so on and so forth, they didn't have to worry about water. Right? That was a miracle of the well of Miriam, going with them whatever they want, fresh water. They didn't have to worry about bugs, have to worry about anything. Don't have to pay the bills for water, right? And when here we have the mosquitoes, West Nile virus, there's that. They don't have to worry about it. Ananei kavod, protect them. Not even bugs and insects around them. It was great. But you never thought about this. Right away, like everybody else. Well, yeah, the spies, yeah. But I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with what they did. So the complete anticlimax, or the complete opposite of tranquility of life and comfortable life of the desert, as far as the spies were concerned, was entering the land. When you enter the land, there are no more open miracles like they had in the desert, right? Manna is not coming down from heavens. You have to plant your wheat, right? You have to do all these things. There's no ananei kavod, and you have to invest a lot of time and a lot of effort, right, just to make parnasa and to guard yourself from enemies. They said, well, what are we doing here? This is crazy. So the spies really asked to stay in the desert, not because they were afraid from the nations who were sitting in the land. They were not afraid. They were warriors. But because they were afraid of actually, guess what? Settling in the land. They were not afraid of the 7 nations, Haknaani, Apirzi, and so on and so forth. They were afraid of staying in the land. They didn't want to settle down. They wanted to be nomads.
Commitment issue.
I would not say commitment issue. Because again, let me use the American Indians as an example for that, okay? Imagine what a tragedy it was and still is when they took those Indians and they basically can roam. I mean, when we talk about Indian land, it's funny because in a way, I don't think there was such thing. Everybody always hustle for hunting grounds and they move from one place to another. But from 3 lives of being a nomad, all of a sudden, you got to put you in a reservation, getting, standing in line to get food. What do you mean I used to stand in line to get food? I want something, I go hunt it. I mean, just think about it. Let me ask you a question. Would you like to go on a nice 4x4 RV and be a nomad? You'll take it. I'll grab it. So, do you understand? All of a sudden, it's like, it's not a commitment issue. It's freedom. Basically, what you're telling me, when I'm a nomad, I can go whatever I want. I'm free. That's the expression of freedom. Go whatever I want, do whatever I want, whatever time I want. That's freedom. Now I've got to stay in the land. Well, you can't do this anymore. Why? I want to go over there. No, you can't. You have to plow now. You have to plant now. You have to harvest now. You have to get the water. I have to settle. I don't want to settle down. I want to hunt buffalo. I don't want to grow wheat. Do you understand? They didn't want to go into the land. Now, and of course, those conditions in the desert really allowed them to only deal with the Kodesh, with holiness. They weren't bad people. Don't even think that. They were great people. They want to only deal with Kodesh, with holiness. They want to do Torah. They want to do Avodat Hashem, so on and so forth. However, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the plans of his own. He had different plans for the matter. Sushi coming?
Yeah.
Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu seems something that is very bizarre. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, in a way, complete opposite of what I'm telling you to do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, no. You're going to enter the land because you're going to need to work it, you need to do this. So, one second. Ribono shel olam. They want to sit and learn Torah. They want to make that all day long. And you telling them, leave the yeshiva and go to work? I don't understand this. But that's where the meraglim were wrong. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw the duty of Am Yisrael completely different than what they saw it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Am Yisrael was not only, in the land, in the world, in general, the duty of Am Yisrael, the job, is not escaping the materialistic world into complete spiritual world. But on the other hand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw the invigorating of the materialistic world by the spiritual world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted Bnei Israel to take the matter, elevate it, sanctify it, the raw, the brute, the unrefined, to actually refine it and to bring it up. For that, you need a land. That you cannot do in the desert because you have nothing. That you need a land, that you need a state, a country, or organization that would be able to do that. You need people to live in that land in the most natural way that they could live, of course. That their life with the Torah would affect and reflect on all aspects of life. Now, some people that don't want to go to Israel, to the state of Israel, to live there, is because they're saying, listen, I am not going to be able to reflect Torah on all aspects of my life, because there is the laws, the secular laws of the country. So I'll better off sit down and learn Torah, that I hear. But you have to understand that ultimately, we're missing this point. That's what we should be doing. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us to do. Right? So within this reality, even though it's a harsh reality, even though it's a difficult reality, and it will distract you from what you really need to do, Am Yisrael are commended to go over there and there reveal Hashem's name, and to sanctify Him in the earth, in the most lower parts of the earth, of this materialistic world, to go to the lowest part of the matter, and there find the divine spark and bring it up and bring it about. That's what they were supposed to be doing, and that's where they failed. So, again, going back to the spies. The spies were very, very popular people.
Sorry.
Very popular people. And they were very popular people even before they went to Israel as the spies. Even before that. As we said before, they were the most superior and selective people on the tribes. And you could see that even after they came back from their mission, from their recon mission, and they spoke badly about the land of Israel, the people still saluted them, still appreciated them. Not only that, he kept on following their example by crying about based on what they said, and really accept their opinion because they were celebrities. So much that they looked to actually stone Moshe and Aaron to death. I mean, what's going on here? Again, of course, we said the spies were great people, and the reason why they sinned was also a great reason. It was a great spiritual and it was a very virtueful reason, if I may say that they made the sin. It was a great value to what they were saying. They, in other words, wanted to reach heaven without going through earth. You can't do that. You can't do it. They didn't want to hurt the people. They did not even want to rebel against God. They wanted to reach God through a shortcut. You can't do that. You can't reach heaven. Remember this. Maybe make a line. You can't reach heaven without going through earth. And that's exactly against what God said, to actually inherit the land and to do all these things that He said to us to do. And you see those mitzvot, and the Mishnah says the same thing, that the Kedusha of Eretz Israel is not just automatic. Okay, Eretz Israel is holy. Yes, Eretz Israel is holy than all other countries. And the Mishnah says, why is so holy? Because we do mitzvot that are associated with the land, Tumot, Masrot, and so on and so forth. So through our action, the land sanctifies. The land itself is not holy. The land is dirt. But the land becomes holy because what we do with it, and so forth, anything else. So against those popular celebrity kind of leaders, we have two others that were the anti-climax for that, the antidote for that. They were different. They were Caleb
Yeshua.
and Yoshua. Wow, you know everything. Now Caleb and Yoshua took the most, and of course next to them was Moshe and Aaron, of course took the most unpopular side that it could be until today, and that's the side of the truth. And I'm going to tell you what I told you in the morning. Another pearl of wisdom. If you want to have harmony, you have to have peace. Peace brings harmony. Truth, you're right, truth. Truth brings harmony. So you can be harmonious or have harmony in your life without taking the side of the truth. And the truth, there's only one truth. There's no, half a lie or half truth. It's black and white. Is it the truth or is it not the truth? Anything that is not the truth is a lie. There's no such thing as a white lie, a pink lie, a black lie, or a green lie. There's a lie. Caleb and Yeshua took the side of the emet. And you say it's not popular. I told you this many, many times. One of my favorite stories of all time is the emperor's new clothes. I always feel like the little kid who screams, the emperor is naked. If you don't know about the story, well, I would suggest to you to actually read it. The side of the truth that they take, even though the people are yelling and screaming, and the spies already, the spies from the very beginning did not want to go to the good way. Because it says, Amar Rabbi Chia bar Abba. Rabbi Chia bar Abba said, Lo nitkavnu meraglim ela levushata shel Eretz Israel. Want to embarrass from the beginning, Eretz Israel. They already went predetermined. Their recon mission failed before it started because they were supposed to report, and they came in with an agenda. They were bad recon unit. Right, Sam? So it says, and Moshe Rabbeinu knew that. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu says, Vayikra Moshe leHoshea bin Nun Yehoshua. He gave him the extra hand, extra yud, and Moshe Rabbeinu prays of him, and he says, Ya Yoshiacha me'etzat meraglim. Hashem, God, Yah, the Yud K, they will save you from what they are, from the meraglim plot, or what they wanted to do. However, on the other side of Yeshua, that got a bracha from Moshe, I mean, that's not something that he takes so lightly. We have Kalev. Kalev what?
Ben Yefuneh.
Ben Yefuneh. Kalev went by his own power, we said the Midrash tells us, to pray at the grave sites of our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. As the Gemara says in Sotah, Amar Rava melamed shepiresh Kalev me'atzat meraglim. He stayed away from the rowdy bunch, and ve'alach ve'nishtatach al kivrei avot. He went to Hebron, another Jewish settlement that was given away. I don't know for what. And he says lahem, and he said to them, Avotai, my forefathers, bakshu alay rachamim, please speak on my behalf. She'anatzel me'atzat meraglim. They all be saved from that bunch of people, and from the spies, and I'll be able to make it. So the Tosfot made a remark regarding Kalev's plea. And it says, Ve'im tomar, and if you would say, Ve'amar b'masechet bachot, it says in Masechet Bachot, the meiti lo yadi midi. The dead people are not really concerned, right? Umashma b'maskana, va'afilu avot ha'olam, even our forefathers. It says the Tosfot, V'yesh lomar, we have to say that the tefillah, שזה מתפלל, מודיעים להן שכך נתפלל. So it's very interesting. The Gemara in Brachot says, regardless to popular belief, when a person is dead, his neshama goes up, he doesn't really care about what's happening here. All this Boba Mises, that comes from other things. They don't care. They are in Olam HaEmet. They don't have nothing to do with us here. So, of course, Tosfot says, but even the forefathers, Tosfot says, yes, even them. So, however, the Tosfot answer is, if a person prays by the forefathers, by his, and in Shamayim, they kind of awaken their receptors to what's going on here. Me'orerim et nishmatam. They awaken their up. And they tell him what is happening in this world in order for them to es rachamim for those who pray in their gravesite. So it's mashma, it's evident from the word of Tosfot that the individual plea, when he went by himself, the initiation came from him, from Kalev, not from Moshe like Yehoshua. Kalev went for himself. That what caused the Avot to pray to save him from what was going on or what's going to happen there. Otherwise, they would not have helped him. Now, I don't want to get into this whole praying through a third party and so on and so forth. There's food. He knows he's here. We always hear his food. So, but there's something for us to learn from here. There's something for us to learn from here. What we need to learn from this, from both Caleb and Yeshua, is when social pressure increases us to do the wrong thing. Society, whatever, forces us to what we know that halachically and according to the Torah is wrong to do. Could be agendas, could be ideas, and so on and so forth. If the Torah said something is not good, if the Torah calls something an abomination, I don't care what you really think, you need to say it's an abomination because you don't know better than Torah. The Torah was here before you were born, before you were created, before the universe was created. We're not talking about here your feelings. This is not a psychological. If you want psychological sessions, wait for Mr. Z to get his degree, and then go over there. He's going to charge you $450 for 30 minutes, give Yeshiva 10%, and we all go to Zagazun. We all go. Until then, be normal, please. So thank you for the. All right. So when societal pressure tells you to do the wrong thing, you need to do. You need to do something. So Yeshua gets the power initiated by someone else. Caleb gets it by himself. So when there is a negative pressure, we need to be able to hold those two qualities, to have to find these two abilities, the two-pronged attack on negative social pressure. And one way to find people that could be to us role models of good character and virtues, spiritual leaders that could help you guard yourself as good people, as devoted Jews who try to sanctify themselves. You can't do it without somebody on the outside. However, you also need to direct your prayer yourself, to initiate your internal motivation by doing good things, by connecting, findings within yourself, knowing, again, as I said to you before, and I really like this so much, is don't ask yourself, can I do it or cannot do it? Ask yourself, should I do it or should not do it? Ask yourself questions of values and virtues. Don't ask yourself questions of abilities and nonsense. Measure things is this the right thing to do? And of course, wearing the glasses of Torah. Look at the world from the Torah point of view. And I know, for example, people, like our supporters, throughout the years, and it's not just one time, throughout the years. We have George, we have Mark, we have Mike, we have Ari, we have Karen, we had Shlomo for many years. People like that. The whole entire world tells you, don't give your money up. Save the money for yourself. Go have fun. Bad things are coming. Those people never stop supporting the yeshiva. They found it within themselves, and they get encouraged by themselves. In other words, the motion has to be, allow yourself to help yourself and allow others to help you. Measure the direction that you're going based on the values of the Torah. Don't fall to negative pressure that comes from society, that most of the time is generated either by riffraffs, and then you carry it away like everybody else, like a tsunami wave, or by some person who is a professor in downtown Berkeley that says something and you look a dummy because he said it, go after him, or some movie star or some reality show host, or whoever that is. This is how you need to do it. Otherwise, you're not. You're going to get carried away. Peer pressure is much greater. Social pressure is much greater for anyone to handle. Listen, look what happened. But can you deal with this? Yes. Can you overcome it? Yes. How? Like that. Find yourself good friends that share the same values that you have. Find yourself leaders that would challenge you to go, to become better, that would guide you, that would tell you, no, listen, you're doing the wrong thing. Accept what they tell you. Influence others. Show them an example. Otherwise, you're all carried away. Avodat Hashem has to be reflected in all aspects of your life. Don't tell me, listen, I cannot make it unless I'm going to cheat in business. So I'm saying to you, if that's your attitude, don't do business. Go work, go become a public, but it's, I mean, to that matter, any job that you do, you'll cheat. That's not what you should be doing. If you're a Talmid Chacham or you're Ben Torah, let this light shine on everybody around you. Make sure that you're Ben Torah in all aspects of your life. Yes, including going to the subway, including driving, including everything you do. Sanctify the Chomer, elevate materialism into a high level of holiness. What do you think? God needs our pennies. When we were in Bet HaMikdash, we give this penny, It's not. It teaches us to give. Why tzedakah is such a thing? It teaches you to give. You find this in yourself to give, to feel the pain of other people. Put yourself in their shoes. Whoever it is. Don't go by dogmas that somebody says. Just because of that. Judge people in favor. Do you have any values of your life in your life? Something that you know that's. Do you have any red lights? Oh, no red lights. They didn't tell me district. But do you have any red lines in your life that you said, I'm not crossing this thing? Or you keep on pushing the line. It reminds me always in Israel, in the Kinneret. Kinneret is the main body of fresh water in Israel. They take it from other places, but that's it. So in the Kinneret, they pump a lot of water in it, and they actually bring it to the Negev. So once the Kinneret goes below a certain level, there is a state, like for example in Lake Mead, becoming like a dead pool soon. Because below a certain level of water, there's no oxygen and it simply dies, everything dies. So every time they kept on lowering it more. Then they had a red line, then they moved the red line further, until they reached a certain point, they said, okay, well there's a red line, but there's the black line. And then they reduced the black line, especially after they have to give water to Jordan. But you have to give water to Jordan. Let them die of thirst. What do I care? So they keep on moving the bar lower and lower and lower. Lower your bar when it comes of accepting people. Accept people into your life. But lift the bar in terms of your standards of your actions. Yeshua and Caleb and Caleb, they share two different types of holiness. They were holy. One was a passive holiness, and the other was active holiness. We need to have both of them in order to make it. So Rabotai, a lot of work to do. A lot of thinking to do, which I hope you will. And if you have any questions, you can reach us at rabbigaon@gmail.com and any other, social media and so on and so forth. Feel free to contact us and have a blessed and holy week.